Hey everyone, I'm back for game 2 of Yisan versus Meren of Clan Toth against my opponent Jorbe, Jorbe. Uh, like I said in game 1, pretty cool matchup. Yisan's definitely one of my favorite multicolor commanders. I haven't built multicolor decks on MTGO because I really don't have the funds to pay for the cards. Like, with only a couple exceptions, my decks are relatively budget. You'll notice when I use Yisan and pull up the list, when I use him to tutor, you don't see Avenger of Zendikar because it's an $11 card on Moto, or Creator of Behemoth because I think it's up to 20 or something on Moto, like almost as much, like right on par with a paper version of the card. So most of my lists are actually relatively budget with only a couple exceptions. Um, Overall, I really enjoy playing on MTGO, but I don't want to have to pay for fetches and shocks and duels when I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice by playing decks that aren't built the way that I like to build decks. That said, if anyone's open to trade me some stuff, I'm more than happy to. Add me on Moto. We can jam a couple games. If you want to see me build a Meren of Clan Toth deck, who I've played in paper and I play in dual commander, or my general Tazri combo list. I'm happy to share the list with you guys. Just let me know. Alright, so back on game 2. He's on the play because I won game 1. I really hope they fix the MTGO bug. Currently, when you finish a commander 1v1 match, I don't know if it applies to multiplayer. When you finish the first game of a match and you're in that sideboarding section that you would be changing your sideboard out for other formats, Commander doesn't have sideboard, so you don't change anything out. Other formats, when you can change everything out, then you hit submit deck. Even in like Momir Basic, the Vanguard variant, I played that on Moto as well when I really feel like just goofing around. You're able to click submit deck and start the second game of the match very quickly. Currently, the Commander games, you cannot click submit deck and shortcut it. So both players have to wait for the sideboard timer to time out, which is like 3 minutes. It's a not almost a non-issue, but it's kind of a pain in the butt that the bug still exists and MTGO hasn't fixed it. Hopefully, we'll see that adjusted. So, opening hand, I look at this. I got a single forest, but I have Sol Ring and Sphere of Resistance. I'm on the play, so it's slightly less good. I would have preferred Sphere of Resistance on turn 1 to their turn 0, but it's a very good play, especially against Meren. Meren's usually a stacks build, but if I can stop the early plays with Sphere, I think I'm going to be okay. So I'm definitely going to keep the hand, even though I only have a single land, because I do have 3 mana. Hopefully my Sol Ring survives until the following turn, and I pick up a land and I can deploy Yisan, and then I'll feel more confident in it. If I don't pick up a land and can't play Yisan, and I don't need to play the Deglammer, I can always just run out the Skull Clamp, get the cast out of the way, because it's going to be 2 mana underneath the sphere. I'm going to keep my hand. My opponent mulligans. I keep mulligan to 5 cards, and they're on the play, so they don't get the draw in 1v1. Though, Meren, if there's a deck that can survive off a 5-card hand, in my experience it has been Meren decks. And they have land Sol Ring. Well, that's a pretty good play. I'm, of course, my play is not going to change. Sphere Resistance is still a very good card, even when they have a Sol Ring, especially because I can set it up that they will only have Sol Ring for a single turn. And I'm hoping that they kept their hand on the strength of Swamp, Sol Ring, Forest, Meren, and hope that's good enough. And if I can even delay that by a single turn with a Sphere Resistance, that gives me the opportunity to deglamor their Sol Ring before they can get Meren in play and get a clock on me. So I'm going to run out my plays and assume it's going to be good enough. And I'll pull out the messages again. We did a lot of talking. Moto 5 is bad. I said, yes, Sphere is worse. And you have Sol Ring too, and that. So, very cordial opponent. I always appreciate when an opponent likes to chat. I said Yisan's a good prison deck. And just like I said, I've shown previously, Sphere Resistance and one of my other games that I uploaded, a quicker one that had Trinisphere in it. These effects are very good in a Yisan build. So there's no thought to doing anything but Deglamor here. I'm just going to kneecap his mana. He did nothing with 4. I doubt he's doing anything with 3 on his next turn. So, basically, Glamour is Time Walk there. He plays Urborg, pretty cool card. I guess it's a strict upgrade over a Swamp, but, and First Strike I can see is relevant, but I think I'd rather just play the Swamp and not open myself up to Wasteland. Or the Fetchable. That said, I think my Meren list plays, like, very few, or, like, four swamps or something. 5 swamps. So I'm going to go with Arbor Elf for 2 mana, because I've still not drawn a land. So this is going to give me Yisan next turn, thankfully, and I can start doing stuff after that point. And I say, I have no lands, but you have no ring. Laughing, chuckling to each other. He says his hand is so bad. Well, that's happy to me. And I sent this right before I'd played the Glamour, because there was nothing he was going to do to stop the Glamour anyway. So I had no issues with it. I pick up Wood Elves. So I have the choice of Yisan or Wood Elves here on this turn, and I decide to develop my board a little bit more instead of deploying Yisan, which takes a turn to develop my board, and then devotes all of my mana the following turn for a few turns in a row to activating Yisan. I'd rather play out more of my hand because I'm not making land drops. If I play Yisan here and miss another land, I go up to 7 cards in hand. There's a chance that I get to a point where I don't deploy anything from my hand, and I start discarding because I've been activating Yisan instead. Not that that's terrible, but I'd rather develop my mana first in case he has some kill spell for Yisan. So I'm going to go with Wood Elves here. 4 mana Wood Elves. Still feels pretty good, especially when my opponent is stuck on 3 lands. He top decks Blighted Fen like a boss, but when he had Land, Soul Ring, he didn't do anything, so I'm not really expecting anything at 4 mana here. That said, he's had a few draw steps to pick up something. But nothing comes... Oh, wait, no, he does go with something. I skipped through it there. It's always weird. He cast Black Sun Zenith X1 to kill my board, and that makes me happy that I went with the Wood Elves to develop my mana a little bit more. So I pick up Sakura Tribelder, and I give some thought to running that out this turn, but here I think it's time to go with Yisan. He just spent removal, and Yisan's going to start getting me value, and if I draw a land next turn, I can use Yisan and play Wirewood Symbiote or Skull Clamp in the same turn. Because they'll be at 5 mana, 3 to activate, and then 2 for one of my 1-drops. So I think that's going to be my best play off of that turn. And he does nothing. And I pick up the land that I was hoping to top deck there. So I go with the Skull Clamp and just leave up my Yisan activation. And I'm definitely going to go get more mana here and land more elves. Always go for the white border elves when given the option. Pick up another land, and now I'm feeling very comfortable. I have Yisan going, I have Skull Clamp to turn my mana dorks into cards, I have Soul Ring and Sphere of Resistance. I'm feeling very comfortable. I could go with Acidic Slime here, which would probably win the game if I target his green source, just on the spot, because I'm getting rid of his ability to ramp if he's been holding something like Explosive Vegetation in hand, unable to cast, that he hadn't drawn when he had the Soul Ring before. So I'm going to go with, but I go with Sakura Tribelder. I decide that cards are worth more at this point. I have Chameleon Colossus and Regal Force, and with Yisan going, I'm not really worried about anything that he comes out with. Blighted Fen's a non-issue. If he somehow activates that, Yisan's about to go for 2. I'm almost certainly going to decide to go for my Preserver, Tajuru Preserver, the same thing that won game 1 for me. Just like that, off the Skull Clamp, I draw Ice Storm, which is basically as good as Acidic Slime here. I can't quite cast it yet, so now my plan has changed from Yisan to get Tajuru Preserver into Yisan get mana, so that way next turn I have one. If I get my Priest, I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 for the Priest, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 9 mana, 6 plays Acidic Slime. Let's say I draw a land, so I have 10. 6 plays Acidic Slime, and 4 plays Ice Storm. So if I top deck a land for one more turn in a row, I can Stone Rain 2 of his lands. I can take him off both of his black sources, or both of his green sources, or all of his green sources, if he plays Ramp Effect. to get an additional green and an additional black. So I'm at the point that any land can just win me the game if I go for my Priest of Titania this turn and go with both of these in the next turn. So I feel like that's going to be my ideal play here. I just keep it, ship it over, and he concedes. And he was saying with soloing I might be in a good position, and I agreed. He would be in a better position than he was, but the glamour sort of earns its worth in this deck every now and then with effects like that. Just a huge blowout. We both had good starts, but I had the removal first, and Sphere of Resistance does incredible work with Yisan when I can just choose to not cast spells the entire game until I actually really need to. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed both of the games, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos to all your friends who like EDH. If you ever want to jam some games with me, shoot me a message on here with your MTGO username or comment below. I'll make sure to add you, and then just shoot me a message on MTGO whenever you see me online. Say, hey, I'm a subscriber, or I watch your videos. You want to jam a couple games, and if we get some good gameplays, maybe I'll record some of them, and I'll give you shout-outs on the channel. Hope to see you guys in the next one, and we will hope to see you guys in the next one. Didn't know where I was going with that. Wow. All right.